I was out Friday night, yesterday, looking for limes. You know, like every other person who's a juicer out there, you start earlier in the day trying to find daytime ones, but I wasn't. I started right at 9. I knew that all of them were going to show up, and so I went out to the beaches area and I found a lot of birds and limes, so I got a good haul, like 10 in one 20-minute period. Pretty solid. I go home, I plug them in, I start to charge them, and then I go back out and I see a cluster of limes available over in Balboa Park area. I'm like, oh cool. So I start heading over there as quick as I can, within following the limits of the law, speed-wise. And I get out there and I see 2 big trucks, lime trucks, loading them up. And I'm like, what the heck? I look and I'm like, it's like 9:40 p.m. when I went to a juicer event, a lime bike event, just on Wednesday, and they said specifically they do not pick up scooters until after midnight. That was a lie. They clearly pick up scooters before that, and they have their own trucks and their own staff going out and sweeping the fields as much as they can, and they're at an advantage because they're able to remotely turn them off. I would assume remotely turn them off and then scoop them up. And so I was like, well, that sucks. I passed it. I'm like, okay, I lost that one. I kept going. I went into Balboa Park further and tried to find some more, and I found like 1 or 2, which is no big deal. And then I took off and I went to another area, like Seaport Village in downtown San Diego, which is where I'm at right now. And I roll up and I see there's like 2 or 3. I'm like, oh, cool, this is cool. Like, you know, a 7 and 8 and 9, all along kind of the pier area. And I'm looking around. I'm like, they're not here. And then I realize, wait a second, right there is a truck, and then it's full of limes. And so it's this guy, this dude, he's just taking a break or whatever, leaning on some pole with this big work van, and he's like smoking a cigar or a stogie or whatever. And I walk up, I'm like, hey man, do you work for lime? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you picked them up earlier than midnight then? And he says, well, sometimes, you know, they said that if you see them along your way, yeah, you can go ahead and pick them up. And I'm like, can I capture them because they're not marked? And he's like, nah, man, they're in the van. And he says, I would have caught them, but my phone's dead, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. And I essentially, after talking to this guy who claimed he worked for Limebike, I don't know actually if it's true. He wasn't wearing any logo, like t-shirt or anything. He was just in this big van. Had this big van. He was just relaxing. And he essentially said to me that they've been told that if they see them along their route to go pick up, which is weird, they shouldn't even be going out until after midnight, right? Because the company said that they don't pick them up unless it's after midnight. Or they're damaged scooters. But if they're damaged, why are they on the map at all as available scooters for other people? So that's frustrating and confusing. But yeah, he had a bunch, and apparently we are, as juicers, now in competition with the company staff. And I'm like, if they're gonna send their people out, might as well just not even have us as people who are contractors picking them up. Like, what's the point? And so I don't know if this is the case, but I also have this conspiracy theory that maybe previous employees of Lime have talked to the current employees of Lime to go pick them up and then let this, possibly an employee or an ex-employee, go and pick them up. Like, for example, I work for Lime and I'm driving a big truck. I pick up 12 scooters, because that's the max for some people. And then I meet up with an ex-employee who used to work there, and I let him just capture them all so that he makes the full amount instead of just being an employee making hourly wage. And from what this guy also told me, he says there's quotas. So they're supposed to hit a certain number, which has incentivized them to pick them up early, which is infuriating because now we're competing with people who work for the company who have extra insider information that we don't and abilities that we don't. So my conspiracy theory is there's an inside track for them to help their friends make a lot more money because they're in an advantage like that. But summary is, yeah, we are not alone out there. We essentially have to compete with people who are employees of the company. So it's not just independent contractors. So they're liars, but You know, what company doesn't lie? Let's be real. So I still was able to get my 12. I just had to work a little harder and go in different places. And then I actually grabbed another couple after I charged and released, because you can, once they're at 100%, you can release them at any time. I actually think I got 16 total yesterday of the limes and 11 of the birds. So it was a pretty good run overall. So combination of what I made doing Lyft and what I made doing charging scooters, it was quite a long time, like overall, like 10 or 11 hours. I think it was like 10 hours between both. And I pulled in maybe like 9. I pulled in between everything about $275. So that was a really solid run. But don't be discouraged. Stuff like that's going to happen in regards to the competition with the company. But yeah, good luck out there. True the Driver, RideIntoCash. Like, subscribe, share, and tell your friends about how to make money doing this and how I like to do instructional videos. So let them check my channel out. Or tell them to go to chargescooters.com. That is essentially, it'll forward you to my page. So yeah, enjoy. Have a good day.